I need you to stop in this very moment and listen, because what I am about to say will help you recognize that you have come much farther than you once thought. My beloved child, there are victories that do not resound with outward celebration, yet they are recorded in the quietness of heaven. There are breakthroughs no one sees, no one applauds, and no one fully understands the price you paid for. But that does not mean they have no value. In recent days, you have faced trials that seemed capable of breaking you apart, and yet you still stood firm. You may have been weary. You may have cried in silence. You may have many times thought you no longer had the strength to keep walking. But you did not allow darkness to have the final word over your journey. I want you to understand the magnitude of this. 9 gates of testing have passed through your life like mighty winds, and each gate touched a deep place within you: your patience, your faith, your forgiveness, your ability to let go, your endurance, your self-respect, your discernment, your courage, and your faithfulness. Some tests came through people, some came through delays, some came through fear, and some came through doors closing just when you thought they were about to open. Yet in each gate, you learned not to react with despair, not to lose your dignity, and not to call yourself by the name of failure. That is the very sign that a true transformation has taken place within you. Perhaps you have not yet felt that you have changed, because you are still accustomed to seeing yourself through the eyes of the old season. You still remember the moments when your heart weakened, the days of confusion, and the times you wondered whether you were walking the right path. But I see what you have not yet seen. I see that the tenderness within you has become deeper, not weaker. I see that your silence has become wiser, not more helpless. I see that your heart is no longer so easily pulled by every voice outside, because you have learned to recognize what brings you peace and what only comes to disturb you. Now a new season is opening, not because you have never been wounded, but because you passed through the wound without losing the light. The fire that once hurt you also refined you, separating from you the things that no longer belonged, so that what is purer, stronger, and more beautiful could come forth. What happens next will not be like what you have known before, because you are no longer stepping into the future with the same old posture. You are carrying within you a maturity forged through testing, and that will change the way you choose, the way you love, the way you rise, and the way you preserve what is precious. So receive this recognition in peace. My beloved child, I, Michael, stand near you like a merciful guardian and say this: your perseverance was not in vain. You were not wrong to keep believing. You were not as small as the painful seasons made you think you were. Lift your head, not in pride, but in deep gratitude. The season of testing that has just passed has completed a quiet work within you. And from this point forward, your steps will carry a new weight, a new clarity, and a beauty born from the very place where you once thought you could not overcome. I need you to stop in this very moment and listen, because what I am about to say will help you recognize that you have come much farther than you once thought. My beloved child, there are victories that do not resound with outward celebration, yet they are recorded in the quietness of heaven. There are breakthroughs no one sees, no one applauds, and no one fully understands the price you paid for. but that does not mean they have no value. In recent days, you have faced trials that seemed capable of breaking you apart, and yet you still stood firm. You may have been weary. You may have cried in silence. You may have many times thought you no longer had the strength to keep walking, but you did not allow darkness to have the final word over your journey. I want you to understand the magnitude of this. 9 gates of testing have passed through your life like mighty winds, and each gate touched a deep place within you: your patience, your faith, your forgiveness, your ability to let go, your endurance, your self-respect, your discernment, your courage, and your faithfulness. Some tests came through people. Some came through delays. Some came through fear. And some came through doors closing just when you thought they were about to open. Yet in each gate, you learned not to react with despair, not to lose your dignity, and not to call yourself by the name of failure. That is the very sign that a true transformation has taken place within you. Perhaps you have not yet felt that you have changed, because you are still accustomed to seeing yourself through the eyes of the old season. You still remember the moments when your heart weakened, the days of confusion, and the times you wondered whether you were walking the right path. But I see what you have not yet seen. I see that the tenderness within you has become deeper, not weaker. I see that your silence has become wiser, not more helpless. I see that your heart is no longer so easily pulled by every voice outside, because you have learned to recognize what brings you peace and what only comes to disturb you. Now, a new season is opening, not because you have never been wounded, but because you passed through the wound without losing the light. The fire that once hurt you also refined you, separating from you the things that no longer belonged, so that what is purer, stronger, and more beautiful could come forth. What happens next will not be like what you have known before, because you are no longer stepping into the future with the same old posture. You are carrying within you a maturity forged through testing, and that will change the way you choose, the way you love, the way you rise, and the way you preserve what is precious. So receive this recognition in peace. My beloved child, I, Michael, stand near you like a merciful guardian and say this: your perseverance was not in vain. You were not wrong to keep believing. You were not as small as the painful seasons made you think you were. Lift your head, not in pride, but in deep gratitude. The season of testing that has just passed has completed a quiet work within you. And from this point forward, your steps will carry a new weight, a new clarity, and a beauty born from the very place where you once thought you could not overcome. You have not fully realized it, but the life partner prepared for your future has turned toward you many times through quiet signs, even though they themselves have not yet been able to name what is happening. My beloved child, there are connections that do not begin with an outward meeting, but begin in hidden prayers. In nights when a person lifts their heart and asks why true love has still not appeared, that person has spoken to God about stability, about marriage, about a love that does not merely soothe loneliness for a moment, but can walk with them through the long seasons of life. They have asked in weariness where the one meant for them is, why their heart is still waiting, and why old connections could not fill the deep emptiness within them. I, Michael, I am speaking to you with gentleness, that those questions have not been forgotten. When that person was heartbroken, when they found themselves standing among unclear choices, when they wondered whether they were waiting for something that did not exist. God answered them with a quiet peace. That person is coming, and that person is also being led toward you. That answer does not necessarily resound like a loud voice. It may come through a settled feeling, a gentle dream, a repeated sign, or an urging that causes them to believe that love, in the right timing, is still being preserved. This message is not only for you, it is also part of the confirmation being sent to them. My child, the present time is not a meaningless delay. God is using this season to prepare both you and that person for a connection that is not shallow. You are being taught how to love without losing yourself, how to open your heart while still keeping clarity, how to receive without allowing old wounds to control your reactions. That person is also being adjusted within, separated from what is impure, brought into clarity about what they truly need, and healed from patterns of attachment that once caused them to confuse familiarity with true love. What is coming to you was not created merely to visit for a short season and then vanish like a passing wind. God is preparing a presence with weight, someone who does not come only to speak beautiful words, but also learns how to remain, build, protect, listen, and walk beside you. But to recognize that person, you must enter this season with a peaceful heart, not hurried, not trying to force anyone to become the answer, and not clinging to things that only resemble love but do not carry rest. Therefore, trust the preparation taking place in silence. Do not let loneliness make you choose hastily, and do not let the past close your heart to what is good. When what is right comes, it will not pull you into chaos. It will bring clarity, respect, and a gentle sense of being guided. That person is being brought closer in the way God knows is best. And you are being renewed not only to meet them, but also to be mature enough to recognize them, cherish them, and walk with them in the light. The one appointed to walk beside you is being refined in places your eyes cannot yet see. I, Michael, speak to you with the gentleness of a guardian. Do not think that the present distance is only empty silence. And do not assume that what has not yet taken shape has been forgotten. There are things heaven is quietly doing inside a person before they become steady enough to enter love with purity. That person is being taught again how to be patient, how to listen, how to take responsibility for their emotions, and how not to let old wounds control the way they treat you. My beloved child, there are memories within them that once caused them to build walls of defense. They may have learned to avoid closeness because they were once wounded, learned to stay silent because they feared speaking and being misunderstood, learned to keep distance because they thought love always came with loss. These things do not make them a bad person, but they have made them not yet ready to preserve what is precious. Therefore, the preparation taking place is not merely an outward change, it is the softening of edges hardened by pain, the removal of layer after layer of fear that kept them from seeing the true value of themselves and of you. In the hidden place, they are learning to release old patterns passed through many seasons of life, the way of loving defensively, the way of withdrawing when a wound is touched, the way of doubting what is good because disappointment has become familiar. I want you to understand that love entrusted from above cannot rest only upon intense emotion. It needs maturity, loyalty, humility, and the ability to remain in truth without wounding one another. Therefore, before they can love you deeply and sincerely, they must be taught not to break what they once prayed to receive. Do not let the waiting time make your heart bitter. While they are being prepared, you are also being preserved. You are learning not to trade peace in order to be chosen, not to lower your dignity in order to be loved, and not to chase someone who is not yet clear enough to recognize the gift placed before them. When the two of you meet again, if this truly belongs to goodness, it will no longer carry the shape of the old tug-of-war, but will come with greater clarity, gentleness, and responsibility. I am preparing this in ways you do not need to see fully in order to believe. Let heaven do its work in the secret place, and you keep your heart clean, your words gentle, and your steps peaceful. That person does not only need to return to you, they need to return as someone healed enough not to wound what they are given. And you as well are being renewed so that you do not receive love through fear, but through clarity, self-respect, and deep peace. My chosen one, listen with the full stillness within you. You have never been abandoned, nor have you ever been forgotten in any dark season. I, Michael, am speaking to you with the mercy of the Higher One sent to uphold and remind you. There have been times when you thought you were separated from everyone, placed in an empty place, left behind while the world continued moving. But my beloved child, that isolation was not a sign of rejection. It was a covering. It was a place of protection. It was where heaven held you back from unclean hands, wrong voices, and connections that could have misdirected you before your time had matured. You have many times asked yourself why the door did not open sooner, why the one who needed to stay left, why places where you once belonged suddenly became strange, and why prayers that seemed sincere were answered with silence. I want you to understand that not every silence is absence. There are times when God is quiet because He is working in depths beyond your sight. There are times when He does not immediately bring you out of the lonely place because that place is keeping you from a storm you have not yet seen. There are times when delay itself is mercy, and separation itself is a protective fence around the precious thing being formed within you. But today, I hear a declaration resounding in the realm of light. Enough is enough. Enough of the days when you were misunderstood. Enough of the nights when you silently carried burdens no one knew about. Enough of the times you doubted your worth simply because no one had yet seen what heaven placed within you. Enough of the delay. Enough of the voices that made you feel small. Enough of the cycles that kept you standing before a door without daring to step through. Not because you have become perfect, but because the time of being protected is shifting into the time of being revealed. What was hidden in order to preserve you is now being prepared to shine through you. Therefore, do not hurry away from this moment. Do not let distraction pull you away just as revelation begins to open. What you are about to understand does not come to make you proud, but to restore the steadiness that old painful seasons once shook. You will understand why some people could not continue with you. You will understand why some doors had to close. You will understand why some prayers were not answered in the way you wanted, yet were answered through a protection greater than you had recognized. Stand still in peace. My beloved child, heaven did not keep you in hiddenness to forget you, but to prepare you for something so important it could not be placed into the hands of someone who was not ready. Now, as the declaration, "Enough is enough," is released, lift your head, The covered season was not the final point. It was the room of preparation before the door opened. And when you step out, you will not step out in bitterness, but in clarity, dignity, and holy courage. I, Michael, you have carried this word through places your eyes cannot see, only to arrive at the exact time when you needed to know that the verdict has turned in your favor. My beloved child, quiet your heart and receive this in peace. Because not everything operating around you can be understood by ordinary thought. There are battles you endured in silence, burdens you carried that no one knew how to name, and seasons of waiting so long that you once wondered whether heaven still remembered you. But I say to you, you have never been forgotten, and the matters concerning your life have been placed before the light of righteousness. I passed through coverings you could not enter by your own strength, not because you are weak, but because there are works entrusted only to guardians under command from above. I stood where truth was weighed, where tears were recorded, where faithfulness was not overlooked, and where every accusation had to face pure light. I did not go there to ask for something vague on your behalf, but to present the truth about you that you endured longer than people realized. Persevered through seasons when it seemed you had no strength left, waited through days when no one comforted you, and continued to believe even when your heart trembled. Many times, there were voices that once tried to make conclusions over your life. There were circumstances that tried to stamp failure upon your name. There were memories that made you think you would forever be held in a room of shame, delay, and doubt. But today, I speak to you with the authority of light. Those false judgments are no longer permitted to rule over you. What was sealed is being opened. What was delayed is being brought back into its rightful place. Doors that once remained silent before your knocking are beginning to hear a new command from heaven. Understand that a verdict in your favor does not mean everything will rush in with noise. Sometimes the first victory appears as a deep relief, like the feeling of invisible chains falling from your heart, like a sudden clarity about what must be released and what must be stepped into. Then, afterward, circumstances will begin to shift, a confirmation, an opportunity, someone changing their attitude, a truth being brought into the light, or a door opening in a way you could never arrange by your own strength. When this happens, you will know that heaven has gone before you. Therefore, my beloved child, do not bow your head as though you were still standing in the old courtroom. That court has been closed. The accusations no longer hold the highest seat. Mercy has spoken. Truth has been acknowledged. And your time is moving into a new chapter. Walk in humility, but do not walk like one who has been condemned. Keep your heart clean, but do not allow guilt to drag you back to the place from which you have been brought out. I am standing near you with a bright sword, not to threaten you, but to protect you as you step into the portion that has been decided. You have waited long enough, endured enough, and now you are permitted to stand upright in the light of restoration. Before you continue, take a deep breath and look at this moment as a gentle invitation from heaven meant especially for you. I am not calling you to remain through empty urgency, nor do I want you to be led by fear of missing out. I only want you to recognize that some moments look very ordinary on the outside, yet contain a deep movement within. You think you are merely reading another message, but in truth, your heart is being touched in a place you have tried to cover for a long time. Something good, strong, and quiet is being formed in your life. Not through noise, but through the enduring arrangement of light, my beloved child. If lately you have felt that something is changing, but you cannot yet name it, do not quickly deny it. You may still be doing familiar things, meeting the same old people, and walking through days that seem to repeat. But within you, you are no longer the same. A part of you is waking up. A part of you is no longer accepting the things that once made you wither. A part of you is beginning to believe that your life is not only about enduring, waiting, and silently reassuring yourself. That is the sign of a changing season. I know you have often left your own hope too early. You once came close to touching a change, but because you were tired, you turned away. You once heard a very quiet reminder in your heart, but because you feared another disappointment, you told yourself not to believe. You once stood right before a door, but because the past made you suspicious of every good thing, you did not dare to knock. Today, I do not rebuke you for those times. I only gently place my hand upon your confusion and say, this time, remain with peace a little longer. What is drawing near to you does not necessarily have to appear like a loud miracle that everyone recognizes. It may begin as a new clarity in your heart, a small but right decision, an arranged meeting, unexpected news, or a settled feeling you lost long ago. Many people miss precious things not because they never come, but because they come too gently, too purely, too differently from what they imagined. Therefore, learn to pay attention to subtle movements. Do not despise peace simply because it does not shake everything. Oh, my child, remain steadfast until the end of this moment, but not through tension. Remain through tender faith, through open hands, through a heart ready to receive what is good without needing to control every detail. I, Michael, I am reminding you that your life has not been abandoned to chance. What needs to reach you will be led to you in the right rhythm. What truly belongs to you will carry light, clarity, and dignity. So do not walk away from your own awakening. Remain in listening. Because the important thing you are about to recognize will not only change one moment, it may reopen the whole direction ahead of you. Look at your life right now, my beloved child, and recognize that the weariness you are carrying is not evidence that you are weak, but a sign that you have carried too much for too long a season. I, Michael, am standing near you in mercy, not to judge the times when you trembled, but to remind you that there are burdens you were never created to carry forever by yourself. You have passed through days when you had to pretend you were fine, silent nights when no one knew how you fought, moments when you wanted to lay everything down but continued because there was still a spark of light within you that refused to go out. And right there, between exhaustion and fragile hope, a new movement is beginning. Perhaps you feel it as a strange pressure in your chest, as an urging that does not let you rest, as a very quiet call that keeps sounding within you. Do not quickly push it away simply because you cannot yet explain it with words. Not every sign comes with a loud sound. Sometimes heaven touches you through a deep inner feeling, causing you to know that something is drawing near. I do not say this so you will chase restlessness, but so you will learn to discern the difference between anxiety that throws you into disorder and watchfulness that awakens you. Fear pulls you into chaos, but true guidance brings you back to your center. In a very near moment, you may see a door crack open, a truth become clear, a response appear, or a blessing arrive in a way you did not expect. But remember, the precious thing is not only in the outward surprise, the more precious thing is the rearrangement taking place within you. When a new season begins, it often first shakes loose the old things that have clung too deeply to your mind, the habit of doubting yourself, the way you always prepare for disappointment, the way you think you must stay tense so that everything will not collapse. I am helping you lay down those reactions, little by little, so that you do not step into the new with a heart still imprisoned in the old season. The tears you once hid were not meaningless. The nights when you were silent were not forgotten. The burdens that seemed only to slow you down actually taught you to recognize the gentle strength within you. Therefore, when the unexpected comes, do not see it only as a gift falling from above. See it as a sign that you have been led through every difficult stage to arrive at this exact moment. You have not been abandoned in the process. You are being re-established in peace, brought out of the old rhythm of exhaustion, and invited to step into a rhythm that is brighter, deeper, and steadier. Oh, my child, if today you cannot sit still, do not blame yourself. Sometimes that uneasiness is not a flaw, but the first bell announcing that something within you is being awakened for change. But preserve your strength through stillness, not panic. Speak a word of receiving within your heart. With clean faith, you receive peace. You receive clarity. You receive the door at the right time. And you receive the strength not to return to the way of living that drained you. I am near you, guarding you through this threshold, so that when the movement appears, you will know you were prepared for it long ago.